The Week 12 recap, Chris, you know where we're starting this. The Chiefs, their season was hanging on by a thread, and it felt like after 3 quarters, oh, God, it really could already be over.
Right.
And then it all changed in the fourth quarter and overtime where the Chiefs outscored the Colts 14-0. More importantly, or just as importantly, they outgained them 236-18 in total yards in that fourth quarter and overtime. What changed in this game?
Yeah, I think there's a few things. First off, down 20-9, like you're mentioning, starting the fourth quarter, all that. But I think at the same time, they probably looked at it and went like, hey, we're down by 11, but we've really kind of controlled the game, right? They had the ball. They were controlling time of possession. The Colts and their offense weren't doing a whole lot. But there they were, down by 11 points, but not out of it. And you sit there and you go, they had some tough breaks. Mahomes, of course, with the interception, pick 6 to start the game. Bam, we're down 7-0 right off that. Then they climb back into it, and at 20-9, you're going, oh, they're going to go down and score here. Kareem Hunt fumbles. And you go, holy crap, it just must not be their year.
Right, everything's going wrong.
Because you kind of thought, right then, you were like, oh, man, they fumbled now. Now we're starting to get into, is there going to be enough time for them to, have enough possessions here and everything there? But slowly but surely, or I shouldn't say slowly but surely, because I felt like they picked apart the Colts defense for the better part of the football day. But at the end of the game in the fourth quarter, it felt like, they started to make explosive plays on the offensive side of the ball. I kind of broke it down on Football Night in America last night. The middle of the field started to be a huge spot, right? We saw Rashee Rice down the middle, man-to-man coverage. We saw Xavier Worthy, man-to-man coverage. All these crossing routes. The Colts looked like they really got into, and I don't know what the numbers are going to say, and this is where you're the man here, right? It seemed like in the fourth quarter, late third quarter, they played a ton of man-to-man coverage, more than they usually do, and more than I would advise anybody to do against the Kansas City Chiefs. And then on top of that, I think what also kind of confused me is the Colts had moments in the game where they did their old Lou Anarumo rush 3, drop 8, and play different coverages with those 8 guys. Yeah. And it felt like that was giving the Chiefs problems, right? But at the same time, they got out of that. And why they got out, I don't know. Maybe they felt like they were getting gashed in the run game because the Chiefs stayed crazily consistent with the run yesterday.
Oddly.
Right? I mean, you never see Andy Reid run the ball 37 times with a true running play. But that was something that jumped out to me was the aggressive man-to-man coverage by the Colts and the Chiefs dialing up the right plays to expose it.
Well, good eye as always, Chris. In the fourth quarter, they played man coverage 47% of the time.
I'm shocked by that.
This is a zone team.
A zone team. And you're going to play a team that when they start to know what you do and what you're playing, they are going to dial up the right plays eventually. That's where I was, so I'm glad to hear that because, I haven't, it's Monday morning. I haven't watched the film here, guys. I've been up. I did a 7 a.m. show with PFT and Florio and all that. So, but I'm just going with my eye there. That was something I did not get. And you do that again, to the Chiefs. They're going to dial up the right plays, and then you're arguably dialing up the right plays with one of the clutchest, if not the clutchest quarterback in the history of football. And with all that, and the great defensive play, and the Colts probably playing the sloppiest game of their year as far as penalties, right? All of that combined is why we're sitting here praising the Chiefs right now for a big-time win.
Yeah, so their season is very much alive after that. And for the Colts, I think there's a little bit of the concern button. They're 1-3 in their last 4 games right now.
Definitely.
And for the Chiefs, credit to them to holding Jonathan Taylor to 58 rushing yards because it's a lot easier said than done, but the Colts are 0-2 when he doesn't reach 60-plus this year, which good luck trying to match that with other teams. But if you keep Jonathan Taylor in check and force them to play a different way, it significantly enhances your odds to win the game against the Colts.
It felt like they crowded the line of scrimmage. It felt like that was number one thing, was not let him go off in the run game. They also did, I thought, what we talked about with great offenses sometimes. They were like, we can't be sound in everything here. They have too many answers. We got to kind of blitz them a little bit. We might have to do call some defenses where we're like, this is dicey, but we can't sit here and just play normal defense all game long. And I did feel like they found ways to expose the Colts' pass protection at times. Not that it led to sacks, but it led to Daniel Jones getting the ball and being like, oh, gosh, somebody's coming free. I got to get it out right now, right? And you think about the football game, too, on top of that, Connor. We never really saw the Colts attack down the field. I mean, there's very few plays for one of the most explosive offenses we've seen. You said it right. Jonathan Taylor never broke a big run. And then other than one or two passes, maybe to Tyler Warren, and maybe there was one other one that I'm forgetting. Maybe Alec Pierce had one.
Kept him in check. He had a 26-yard catch. That's all he had the whole game.
That was all game, right?
Which is pretty damn good.
Yeah, and he's the guy that stretches the field for them. So that was the other thing I'm interested when I do watch some film here later today and tomorrow morning to go, what exactly did the Chiefs defense do to the Colts, and why couldn't the Colts, where it looked like the Chiefs were playing aggressive coverages and crowding the line of scrimmage, why couldn't the Colts get open or attack down the football field that way? That to me is, a question that I need to dig a little deeper into.
Yeah, and against man coverage, it wasn't always perfect for Mahomes, but he had two of his biggest throws on third downs against man coverage. He had the touchdown on 3rd and 4 before the half.
Right.
And then he had the overtime throw on 3rd and 7. I want to go back and see who this one was to again.
And that's where he hit the Xavier Worthy.
Xavier Worthy, where
right.
Xavier Worthy turned back to the ball. It was an amazing catch. Mahomes was about to get smashed.
Right.
So it's not always about the raw numbers against man coverage, but the plays you do make that change the entire game, and those are arguably his two throws that changed the game.
Yeah, I think so.
There's
two of them, and yeah, we showed a little highlight package in Football Night in America last night because they asked the same thing. What was one of the keys to the game? And to me, it was like, man, the fourth quarter, Mahomes man to man, the crossing routes, inside posts like you just saw there with Xavier Worthy. Those are really hard to cover in man to man coverage all the time. So, and then like you said, it wasn't perfect all the time, and I'm glad you said that because the other thing the Colts really did yesterday was they didn't rush Mahomes. They played the let's not let him scramble and do so much.
Yeah.
But within that, a few of those plays, okay, they didn't really keep him in there. And they kind of just, he didn't break out and make a big run, but he sat back there enough patiently and finally learned after a few times where he threw the ball a little quick. And you're like, and even Romo said it at one point, you don't have to throw it that quick here. Like, you got time, sometimes the quarterback, the clock goes too long and you go, I just got to get it out. I got to get it out.
Yeah.
And there is a little bit of a nuance to look around and go, wait, they're not really rushing me. Hold on. Let me take another deep breath. Let me pat the ball one more time. Let me just move a little and see if I can't manipulate the coverage a little bit or somebody can separate, and he made a few plays that way too. But the Chiefs defense, the crossing routes against man-to-man, and then the greatest patience I've ever seen Andy Reid have with the running game, to me, those would be the three things that I would look at to go, yeah, that's why the Chiefs won this football game. That's why they're still alive, and that's why we're all excited about Thanksgiving Day with them going to play the Cowboys now.
So their first one-score win of the season. They were 0-5, and we know they were the kings of the one-score win last year, so a big one for the Chiefs. The Can 28-46 weighing in. Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold are both the same. They could beat bad teams and fold under pressure against good teams. What do you think of that take?
I think that they're going to have to deal with that.
That's the narrative right now.
Right.
And it's a little proof in the pudding.
It's fair. Yeah. I understand that. I get it, right? I feel like, do I feel as strongly as that right there? Maybe not, because I certainly can sit there and tell you, hey, listen, there's been some other games here this year. I mean, they played the Broncos and they beat them clutch, right? There's been some moments, but no, I think Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, they are where they are for a reason, and they're going to have to they're going to be the ones that are going to have to squash these ghosts of you can't win the big game or you can't pull the team through in a big moment. And I understand those questions. And then when you play a game like that yesterday where, you had a 20-9 lead, you do nothing, outstanding really in the second half of the game. Daniel Jones made no plays, nothing like that. Yeah, the people are going to question that, and I understand that. And the Colts, they still got a rough road ahead of them here. They're 8-3. Yeah, they're a good football team. But damn, could they lose to the Texans next week? Of course they can. The Texans are the best defense in football, as you've heard me say 9 zillion times this year. The Jaguars after that. The Seahawks after that.
At Seattle.
The 49ers after that. The Jaguars again after that. The Houston Texans after that.
Division could be on the line.
The division could be on the line, and to our watcher's point here, he's going to have to prove it, and they're going to have to play good football here down the stretch. Not forget to win the division to get in the playoffs. I mean that's where we are here with this little murderer's row of a schedule they got coming up.
Especially when you're in a division when you have multiple games left against Jacksonville and Houston, they are two of the most high-variance teams in the NFL season. Some weeks, Jacksonville and Houston looks like they could win the division. Other weeks, it looks like they could lose to literally anybody.
Exactly.
And I think that kind of scares you because it's not as comfortable of a feeling.
I feel like Houston's got it going a
Houston,
little bit.
they definitely do. And
if they beat Denver a few weeks ago, we'd be sitting here thinking,
dangerous.
Oh, yeah, they're dangerous. Watch out. And, of course, C.J. Stroud being banged up. But I feel like they figured out how they're going to play.
Right.
Not that it's pretty on offense, but they know who they are at least, and they're playing at least consistently to who they are the last few weeks. Yo, thanks for watching, homies. We are now in the NFL season here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, game recaps, film deep dives, and much, much more.
Thanks again for watching. Subscribe, rate, review. Peace out. You know where to find us.